What's happening, guys? Well, today we are on a mission to head up to Allegheny National Forest, and specifically to the DJs Russell City Store. There's an interesting story there, and I'd like to investigate it and kind of do a little bit of a different type of video for the channel. Maybe a little bit different format, but hopefully it'll be cool and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm about halfway there right now on the Africa Twin, as you can see. Maybe once we get up there, we'll do a little bit of off-roading in Allegheny National Forest, fire roads, whatnot. But yeah, the point of the video is really to get up there and meet the proprietor of DJs Russell City Store and hear his story and what's going on with them. But for right now, I thought I would stop here and take a little break and maybe show you guys this really cool little spot that I found.
My name is Darren and my wife and I canvas own DJs Russell City Store here for the last 7 seasons now. The very unique thing about this store is that we are catering strictly to the off-road community that rides here at the Allegheny National Forest on the ATV trail system here. And we are dedicated to this trail system from A to Z, on everything that you would need to ride here safely, responsibly, legally, etc. And what's unique about this place, more so than any other place on the East Coast anymore, is that this is one of the last places that you can go to and still have that sense of adventure, that remoteness feel. And it's not all commercialized and signs everywhere and so forth. It's a very remote place to ride, and a lot of the areas are pretty desolate, and therefore you get that sense of adventure type feeling. And that's hard to find. You don't find that at just any ATV park or a motocross track. And we need to preserve that for future generations to enjoy, because this is one of the last places of its kind. And there are signs on this trail that say the future of this trail depends on you, and that could not be more true. So we need to work together as riders and preserve this place for future generations to enjoy just as we're enjoying it. And that's what this store is all about being an advocate for riders here, and new riders especially, and get them off on the right foot and the right direction so that they start off riding here in a pleasurable experience and they come back. And that's what it's all about. We bought this store 7 years ago. Our youngest son, DJ, he's 27, he has profound autism. He is nonverbal, and riding is his therapy. He's enjoyed ATV therapy from the age of 2 years old, and so for the last 25 years now, we have done the ATV therapy. And that's why we bought the store, is because of the backyard. Well, we took it a step further, and we're actually trail volunteers here for a long time, and we provide free trail rescue service for anyone that rides here. And we started building a community together with all the riders, and I think that the more people that come in to ride here, the stronger and bigger the community is going to get. And to allow more families to enjoy with their children as a family type atmosphere, a wholesome type atmosphere. And we need to preserve that. And we have the capability to do that. And the more people that come up here and ride with their families and follow the rules and the regulations, and there are not a lot of rules. There really isn't. And you got to have a license plate, you got to have, registration, insurance, a helmet, and you can't be wider than 64 inches, and you're good to go. It's not a lot to ask for, and it's a very unique place. It's a big place. I think that it's grown so immensely in the last 5 years that it's going nowhere but up.
Mm-hmm.
More and more places surrounding the forest are opening up. More and more roads, more and more legalization of it. More and more of these off-road clubs. They're coming together and working together in different areas around the forest here. And within time, everything's going to be connected. And that's going to be a very unique thing when that does take place. And it's going to take place. It's just going to take time and dedication to do it. And when it does happen and when it manifests, it's going to be, I think, just as good, if not better, than Hatfield and McCoy. You'll be able to get into small towns such as Kane, Marionville, Sheffield, Ridgeway, Loletta, Hersey, Lucinda, and patronize those small towns and those small mom and pop shops and keep small town America alive. We have the capability to do that here, and I think that we as a riding community would be foolish to oversee that.
So you mentioned to me a little bit earlier that most of us that ride around here know that historically Pennsylvania has been pretty anti-ATV.
Yes, they have.
But apparently there have been some changes recently that even I wasn't aware of.
Yes, there. As far as the Forest Service goes, the U.S. Forest Service typically, historically, I don't want to use the word anti-ATV. It sounds a bit harsh to use, but I will say this. I've been a trail volunteer here for 20 years, and I've seen forestry services that really don't focus on the ATV trail system. Mm-hmm. I'll word it that way. Okay, but I do have a very good, close working relationship with the U.S. Forest Service in regards to this trail system. And with the new staffing that we have, they appear and seem to be more open and more pro-ATV than in the past.
Okay.
And I think that is an opportunity for us that we need to latch on to that respectfully and say, hey, we have the opportunity to build something great here. We need you to support this and let us do this. And I think that with the right people and the right presentation of that, I think that this place can move forward. Mm-hmm. I do. Because I've been around it for a while. Don't know everything. Nobody does. Mm-hmm. But I've seen different forestry employees come and go. And I think that this is the most positive that I've seen in the last 20 years.
Awesome. So, for the last 7 years that I've been coming up here, you've run this beautiful store, and this store is very significant to the trail system because it's pretty much the only place that you could legally get to come and get lunch or come and get supplies. You know, you guys had...
That is correct.
You know, it's basically a general store, but you guys also offered food and those sorts of things.
Correct.
There was an issue was sometime the end of last year, or was it the beginning of this year?
It was the beginning of this year. We had some issues. We don't use the water here for anything food related. We never have. That's not the issue. The issue is that we run off of a natural spring here, and we are sanctioned inside U.S. Forest property here. We own the property we have, but we're sanctioned inside, and that sanction requires rules that have to be adhered to.
Ah, okay.
Okay. This spring that everybody in Russell City feeds off of, the U.S. Forest Service dissolved that contract 90 days ago.
Oh.
Okay. Now, because that contract is no longer valid, the DEP of Pennsylvania stepped in and said this is no longer a viable water source.
So, period.
Period. So, everybody has to get wells put in. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, that's what we did. We signed a contract with a well. Ours is scheduled to be put in by the end of this month. We decided to close in June out of an integrity purpose, and an integrity purpose only. We were not asked to close. It was something that I decided to do to keep the peace here in Russell City and to just keep things in a calm fashion around here. Even the DEP called me up and said, you don't have to close. We didn't ask you to. Mm-hmm. I did it on an integrity thing, having some conflicting views with some of the neighbors, and we felt that this was the best option to do.
Okay.
And we're going to come back swinging next May.
Yeah. So now the good news.
The good news. We are going to put in a small diner inside the store where it'll be all homemade food at a very fair price. The operations will still be the same as normal. The free 24-hour trail rescues are free service garage. We have a garage here with a variety of tools and equipment, plasma cutters, welders, grinders, bench presses, you name it. Free to use, 24 hours a day. So that you can enjoy your vacation up here and enjoy your time with your family and not be disturbed by it. You can come here and use my garage for free.
So if you break your machine on the trail,
yep, I'll come get you and help you fix it.
Or get your buddy to tow you here.
There you go.
The garage is always open.
Yeah, our garage is always open. 24-hour fuel, good fuel, non-ethanol. There's always non-ethanol gas here. There's tire plugs, patches, tire machine, tire spoons. Anything off-road related is here. Mm-hmm. It's free to use.
That's awesome. And real quick, just to kind of finish this up, the one thing that I think is really cool, you mentioned your son DJ and his autism, but talk about the reason that you ride.
Okay, well, the reason we bought the store was for our son DJ. He's 27, nonverbal, and riding is his therapy. We average 35,000 miles a year of aggressive woods riding. We have for the last 25 years. We have a 2020 machine that has 98,000 miles on it. Yes, 98,000. We bought it because of the backyard, because riding is therapy. DJ actually has prescriptions from neurologists, MDs, for ATV therapy.
No way.
Yes.
I did not know that.
He gets the same therapeutic value of horseback riding therapy, but his is an iron horse.
That's awesome.
That's the only difference. And he's not the driver, he's my co-pilot. And we ride every day that it does not rain. So we have special permissions. We're under a special use permit with the U.S. Forest Service. And we have access to hundreds of miles back here. And we ride 7 days a week. We do not ride during hunting season. We stop 2 weeks prior to let things calm down. It is everybody's forest, and we all need to work together and work together as a team to preserve it for everybody to use it in their own way. Mm-hmm. And that's how we see it, and that's what we promote here.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, sir.
Not a problem, my friend.
So there you have it, guys. I was just on my way back from talking with Darren at the DJs Russell City Store in Russell City, up in Allegheny National Forest. And I spotted a little dirt road off to the right. And this is the thing that I love about dual sport motorcycles, is you find stuff like this. It's not big, but it is definitely a place where the fam can come and enjoy the stream. And you guys can enjoy it while I cruise back out. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to Darren for taking the time to talk to me and do that little interview. That was really cool. It's people like Darren that support local riding scenes that make all the difference in keeping riding areas open for us. I mean, you guys know in Colorado, all the groups out there all take care of everything. You know, they help maintain the trails, they do the work parties. It's the same thing here. It's just different. It works a little bit differently. But the fact remains that the community is the same. And as you can tell, Darren has the same vision that I do, trying to turn these trails at Allegheny into something like Hatfield. And that is when the big money starts to come in. You start linking towns, and people can start opening businesses that rely on the dual sport ATV communities, because we're the ones that are going to bring money into these little towns that otherwise wouldn't get it. And you know, get out there, support your local riding communities, people like Darren at DJs Russell City Store, and we can keep expanding our riding areas. But alright guys, as you can see, we're heading back onto the yucky stuff. But I hope y'all are doing well, and we'll be back shortly with more videos. I'll catch y'all later. Peace!